Welcome to The Situation Right Now with me, your host as usual, Dara B. Now we're going to be talking about the politics that is happening in Zimbabwe. I mean, if you go on social media or if you go on any platform, you'll hear Chabangu this, Chabangu that, Sengezo, Chabangu, a man who rose to fame from nothing, a man who has single-handedly, without any resolution, without any constitution, decimated the opposition, the main opposition, the Triple C led by Nelson Chamisa. Now joining me in studio to have this discussion on Chabangu and the politics is a man from zanu-pf, man who used to oppose strongly zanu-pf, and now he's part of it, singing and dancing with them. Now join me just after this break as we talk politics, people, and power. With me, your host as usual, Dara B. Welcome back to The Situation Right Now here on Heart and Soul TV and radio. And I'm your host as usual, Dara B. And we talk politics, we talk people, we talk power. Now, right now, we're talking Sengezo Chabangu, the man from Blawayo, the man who has used a pen and Nelson Chamisa's face to recall Nelson Chamisa's favorites. Well, thank you very much and welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Now let's just start from the top. You used to oppose ZANU-PF strongly, and now you're singing and dancing with them. What happened?
Maybe I was decimated, but the real point is, politics of emotional politics, politics without a cause, politics of power, wanting to be a president or wanting to be this and that. The origins of your politics determines your destination.
You are saying that you had politics without cause.
Okay, I'm saying when you're in politics to be a president, when you're in politics to remove ZANU-PF, you don't have a cause. Because the people who support ZANU-PF, who are non-ZANU-PF, they're all Zimbabweans. Your politics must be to better the lives of Zimbabweans. That's a cause. So Chamisa's politics, for example, is to be the president. I also wanted to be a president.
I'm at this moment, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, no. So you see the Damascus moment. You see that what I want is my country to go forward with me as a leader, or without me in the office. Zimbabwe is bigger than everyone, and we should love our country, the development, the better lives.
Do you think those who oppose ZANU-PF don't love their country?
Thank you. Opposing ZANU-PF and find everything wrong, it's a problem. Because that's emotional politics.
What if there's everything wrong with ZANU-PF?
Nothing. You can't have. I will give you the new parliament of Zimbabwe was built by ZANU-PF. By the government of China through the international relationship created by ZANU-PF through our foreign office. And so there's so much. There's now Guaishangani, Matebele has got a perennial water shortages which span more than decades and if not centuries, and it's almost 95% complete. There are so many projects that have been done by ZANU-PF. Our airport, you can go and see. So we can't be blind to that. When we do that, we are playing kindergarten politics. It becomes Zinasu politics.
So you were a kindergarten?
100%.
How did you grow up?
You know what? Every day we want to substantiate our life purpose. We want to you need to reflect. You need to personal development is to reflect every week, every day, every week, every month, every year. Your track record. Who is benefiting from me? I was insulting leaders, mostly. Insulting, drama. And you ask yourself, who is benefiting from this drama?
Who was benefiting?
Am I more of a socialite or a leader? I find myself more of a socialite. That's what's happening. The chamisas, they are performers, they are poets. When you do drama, it's fine. But you never realize power, real power.
You speak about being positive in criticism. Do you think you're positive in your criticism of Nelson Chamisa?
Good. I'm not criticizing him.
You're insulting him.
No, I love Nelson Chamisa.
But you just said he's a poet, he's a drama.
No, I'm describing him. If I'm seeing a Honda Fit, whether how much I love it, I will never describe it as a bus or as a train. So if I say something is a Honda Fit and it's a Honda Fit, that's not insulting. Chamisa is a performer who says things to the gallery to make to home his best, as he says, to make his supporters happy, and it ends there. When you please your followers, you're not a leader. A leader would take even decisions that would make his followers angry, as long he knows that in the future this is gonna be relevant. This is gonna help my people. So when you do popular policies, popular speeches, you are a performer.
Can you give us an example of his popular speech that would make you, say Chamisa is a performer?
Thank you. I would do my witness will be Newsday, a newspaper, where I am right now. Newsday screamed a few days before the election. Chamisa said, "Now Mnangagwa will never rig me. He will never rig me." Chamisa after election, I was rigged. So that's the first. And the Newsday, you've got that on record. Secondly, who defend the vote. Those guys who are just eating his money, they're called what, Pachedu or whatever, who says they can hack, they can do whatever. And so when you tell your supporters, I can't be rigged, and then you come back and say I'm rigged, you represent nothing.
Was he rigged?
What is rigging?
You are talking about it. You tell me, was he rigged?
According to him, he believes so, because he says well before elections, he said if the election results won't declare me as a winner, then it's not free and fair. When you do that, you are already rigging the election, because you are predetermining what is right, what is wrong. If you win, it's right. So doing that.
But zanu-pf has said that numerous times that they will not accept results that do not declare the zanu-pf leader a leader.
Okay.
So you're saying zanu-pf has rigged elections before?
Thank you. If zanu-pf says we are going to win the election and then they win, it's called confidence. They were overconfident.
So if it's done by zanu-pf, it's confidence. When it's done by Triple C or Nelson Chamisa, it's rigging.
A good question. It's confidence. Why? If you say I'm going to win and you win, it means you've got a strategy. And you know that you are working for the people. zanu-pf can point their manifesto. It was the only party without a manifesto. Where was their manifesto written? On the ground. As a new parliament, as Cyber City, as Bedbridge, Chirundu Highway, development, infrastructure. When you change people's lives, that's the best manifesto.
Since 1980, zanu-pf has gone to elections with a manifesto. It just went to, this is the first election that it went without a manifesto. Are you saying in this past, since 1980, zanu-pf was doing nothing? It started doing it now?
A good question. I'm happy the word nothing is coming from your mouth. What I'm saying is, in 1980, there were problems to be dealt with, whether it's your reconciliation, whether it's the integration of the military and whatsoever. At every generation, there are certain problems to be dealt with. Now that we are further from the independence, we are no longer talking about the war in Mozambique now. Now we are talking about the Vision 2030. Now it's economic revolution.
Do you stay in Zimbabwe?
100%.
Did you follow the election?
Yes.
Did you not hear your leaders in zanu-pf talking about the war in Mozambique?
Okay, thank you. I'm saying zanu-pf was born out of the revolution. ZANU-PF's cause is black excellency or to defeat white supremacy. So our origination is the revolution. Our being in power, our empowerment is driven by the revolution. So the reference to revolution doesn't mean that our focus in the manifesto is the revolution.
You are the one who just said we are no longer talking about Mozambique.
Currently in ZANU-PF,
I'm just assessing what you are saying.
Thank you. Currently in ZANU-PF, we talk about war in Mozambique and the revolution as a reference to where we come from, not as a focus of the manifesto. No. There's a difference between where you originate and your manifesto. Our manifesto is economic revolution being commanded by ED.
When you talk about economic revolution, what economic revolution are you seeing?
Okay. I think the blind would see. Vision 2030 has brought massive. Who would think that the biggest state hospital in Zimbabwe would be found in Lupane? Bigger than Parenyatwa, bigger than Mpilo. Who would think that the cancer machines would be available at Mpilo and Parenyatwa? Who would think that currently there's enough budget to buy machines to operate brain surgery, spinal cord surgery? Who would think that we're going to build now the Mutare airport, our airport? I mean, the medical oxygen plant in Mutare.
People have died because there's no oxygen in this country. I mean, a musician who had an accident in Mashingo failed to get medical help for 12 hours, just about a few weeks ago. Which Zimbabwe are you talking about?
Right. Which is country outside Zimbabwe we can talk about where people are not dying? By the way, I would raise to you that the richest country in the world, according to GDP.
I said dying because there was no oxygen.
Okay. People die because of different reasons. But we don't measure that a popular person died because...
No, but you just said that there's oxygen in this country.
Yes.
I am telling you that it's not there.
You don't know that we've got oxygen plant in
So why did someone die because they didn't have oxygen in Mashingo?
Okay.
Why did someone die because there was no scan machine in Mashingo? Why did someone die because they had to wait for an ambulance for 10 hours to be transported from Mashingo to Harare because the state hospital in Mashingo is not working? And you talk about economic revolution.
Okay,
Which country are you talking about?
Okay, thank you for that. When we talk about medical industry in a certain country, we are not saying it. The best medical, when we obviously we would cite US. US number one has got the most expensive medical facilities in the world. People are still dying in America. There's no way you can death proof your population. You can't.
No, but you are running away from the things that you said. You said that we have these things in Zimbabwe. I'm telling you, hospitals in Zimbabwe don't have oxygen.
Okay,
Can you address that?
Thank you. You won't are you denying that we don't have any medical oxygen plant in Mutare? Are you denying that?
I am asking you a simple question.
Okay. Do you confirm?
I am asking you a simple question. You have you say we have a medical oxygen plant in Mutare.
Yes.
Where is the oxygen going? Because it's not in Mashingo Hospital.
Okay. A good question. When we say someone, for example, let's say someone bled to death, we are not saying when accident happens, we are not doctors. We just speculation is that maybe oxygen, but we don't know how many were complications. When someone does an accident, obviously the need can't be only oxygen. What if you wanted blood?
When we started this program, you said that a person who says things to please followers is an actor. What if I squarely tell you right now, right here, that you're acting?
You'll be wrong, because we have got a medical oxygen plant in Mutare, which is operational. But the circumstance of how someone died and then whatever, I'm not privy to that. But I know for a fact that he died, because the death was all over the social media. But I'm not in a position to comment his state and what led to his death, the post-mortem. I don't have all that information.
The relatives have put that in the open. They have read the medical. I mean, this was in the public domain, and not even Mashingo Hospital itself is denied it.
So are we saying?
So who are you to sit there and deny what Mashingo General Hospital, a provincial hospital in its state?
I'm not denying what they said, because I don't even know what they said.
What I'm saying is, just in January, we wrote a story and we had an investigation, and it's on our YouTube if you go and check it. A woman died at Harare Hospital because they didn't have a drip. They didn't have blood. They just didn't have. They asked the relatives of the woman who had just given birth to go and buy a drip for themselves and to go and buy blood for themselves because the hospital did not have medication. And you are telling me of this economic revolution.
Okay, thank
you. Where are you getting it from?
Okay, a good question. What I am saying here, I don't know to what extent the state of hospitals were, but the government is doing things that are feasible. Because you don't just wake up and then everything is at 100%. When I count...
Can you tell me when you say just wake up? Because the people who are in power right now, President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa has been a career minister from 1980. He has been in this government. Most of the people who is running government with have been in this government for the past 43 years. So when you say you don't just wake up, what are you talking about?
When I say you don't just wake up and everything is at 100%, I mean improving the health sector and all other sectors.
It has been dying under their watch.
Okay. So are you denying all the... When I count the cancer machines that have been bought, are you dismissing that?
Where are they?
Go to Parenyato. Go to Mpilo. They're there. In the Lupane State Hospital...
Are they private?
They're government. If you go to Lupane Hospital right now, it's near completion.
What newspapers are you reading? Or where are you getting your news from?
I'm getting it from... You can go to Parenyato. Go to Parenyato and find out.
People are dying.
That's a fact.
Because of cancer.
They are just arrived.
People are being flown out of Zimbabwe to India, including top government ministers.
Not anymore.
When they fall sick.
Not anymore.
Because there are no machines in this country.
Now they are in. Now they are in.
After 43 years of independence.
What is important is to improve. There's no country in the world with 100% health sector where citizens are not dying. You don't death-proof your citizens.
Maybe should I correct the thing and say needless deaths?
Okay. People die of various reasons. So we will never measure our health sector because of death.
Let me take you to
our ministers are dying. The ones you are referring that they are being flown out. They are even dying.
I think most of them died during COVID, where they couldn't be flown out. If they could, they would have been flown up, and I'm sure they'd be alive by now because they have resources. The poor out there who don't have resources, they will die because if you go to Parenyato Hospital right now where you say there are cancer machines, there's no paracetamol.
Are you aware that Zimbabwe...
Are you aware of that?
Are you aware that... No, I want to answer you on the COVID, that the ministers died during the COVID era and because they were not flown out. Are you aware that Zimbabwe recorded one of the lowest deaths of common people, ordinary people, of COVID-19 in Africa?
Why? Because you treated them?
Are you aware of that?
I'm asking you a simple question.
Because you treated them? Are you aware that a country is supposed to have the best medical facility in the world, USA? Millions and millions died. So people in the USA, they died more than people in Zimbabwe. You see? So that must answer you that death is not a measure.
What was the reason of the higher deaths in the United States and the lower deaths in Zimbabwe?
What can I say? The government response. They took COVID-19 for granted. Zimbabwe government went on to prevention is better than cure. We knew that we don't have the best of the world, so we chose prevention. US, because they relied on their medical facility, supposedly the best in the world, they chose cure. So we are intelligent. We save our people.
Let me take you to some area because obviously going all around and round on an area where you're not an expert would not be very useful for programming. But let us talk about your civil servants.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ordinary Zimbabwean who's failing to get food on the table in this supposedly economic revolution that you talk about. Let's talk about that person.
Okay. You know what? There is a factual talk, there is speculative talk, of which obviously most of us in Zimbabwe, we can't tell the difference of speculative and factual talk. When we say ordinary people are failing to put food on the table, simply we are saying Zimbabweans are dying every day of hunger. of starvation. If you go to where you think the poor of the poor stays, you never jump on dead bodies of starving people. If you go where kids are, whether it's creche or where kids play, you never record kids on kwashiorkor. We all know kwashiorkor. When we talk about this, these are facts. But on speculation, Zimbabweans are sleeping hungry, walking hungry, falling in the street, fainting of hunger. That is drama. You have eaten, I know.
What is your measure of not struggling to put food on the table?
Life is a struggle. Any person who is not struggling is not alive. Life is a struggle. Making money is not sweet.
I have asked you your measure because when I talk about people struggling to put food on the table, you talk about dead bodies.
Okay. Everyone, not only in Zimbabwe, across the world, they struggle. They go to school, they work, look for jobs, they work. Some they do side hustles. Everywhere in the world, a person works from bed to work. Why? To pay bills, to feed their stomach.
There's a difference between working and struggling. I've just asked you, what is your definition of struggle? Because to you, it seems like when we say people are struggling to put food on the table, they must be dying.
Okay.
If nobody said there are people dying.
If they're not dying, it means they're putting food on the table.
That is your measure of a normal life.
Okay. A normal life, food, shelter, education.
Your measure is that as long as you barely
social
survive.
Nets.
Your measure is as long as you barely survive. As long as you have not died, you are fine.
Okay.
So government should not worry.
Okay.
That is your measure.
A good question. Government is not there to provide people with food.
What is the purpose of government?
Okay, wait.
Say.
Government is to create an enabling environment for people to feed themselves, for people to educate themselves. What do I mean? The government is mandated to build roads, to build hospitals, to build schools, to put policies that enable people to have peace, development, and unity. It's policy making.
Private citizens can build hospitals, can build roads. The job of government is to do for people what people can't do for themselves. Is that not correct?
Wait.
Is that not correct?
Okay, so you what are you saying? Are you saying the government must buy people food?
Doesn't government buy people food?
Okay.
Does it not buy people food?
Government intervene when there is sort of a disaster or drought or famine.
That is the simple issue, is it? Government ought to do for people what they can't do for themselves.
And the government has been doing that since 1980.
So when you say government shouldn't buy people food, what are you saying?
I mean, you don't just wake up and say, I don't have sugar, I don't have flour, and then call the office of the government and say, can you bring flour here? You'll be fending for yourself. But in the situation that there's a crisis, the government comes in.
A doctor working at Parelinyatwa General Hospital cannot afford, after earning their salary, to send their own child or themselves, if they do not feel well, to get treatment at the same hospital they work. Do you know that?
So are we saying the kids of doctors?
Do you know that?
Are we saying we are burying the kids of doctors?
In your scheme of things, in your matrix of things,
you introduce the death as a measure of the health sector.
I'm asking you, in your scheme of things, if someone can't afford something, they have to die.
Okay. You introduced death as a standard measure of the health sector.
Please refer me to where I referred death as a standard.
You introduced the death of a musician from Masike and someone who died because there was no drip. That was the introduction of you arguing that the Zimbabwean health sector...
It wasn't the introduction of...
that was your assertion.
It was evidence.
That was your head of argument.
No, I was giving you evidence. A question based on evidence.
So now, when you introduce death as evidence, am I allowed to also talk about death as evidence?
Please talk about it.
Doctors' kids are not dying.
So if they don't die, it means...
It means it's fine, because you said death is evidence of a poor health sector. So if they're not dying, then the health sector is okay, according to you.
Do you actually...
Don't disown your evidence.
Do you actually believe in your heart the things that you're saying?
Look,
You're actually convinced.
Okay, look. You know what? I told you that people are confusing between factual talk and speculative talk. So when I implore to you that if doctors can't afford to get their kids treated
at the hospital they work,
okay,
which is supposed to be basic, right?
Wait. If anyone who is sick is not being treated.
No, I didn't say they're not being treated.
So they're being treated. Are they being treated some way?
I said they can't afford. They can't afford with their salary. They can't afford to get their children treated at the hospital that they work. Do you know that? That's the question.
Okay, where are they working? And then where are the kids being treated?
No, I have told you where they are working. I said, do you know that? That is the question.
Okay. I want you to explain this.
You're trying to run away from a simple question.
No.
Do you know that a doctor working at Parelinyatwa General Hospital cannot afford to have their own children or themselves, if they were to get sick, treated at that hospital?
Before I answer your question, I need to understand it.
If they get sick.
I need to understand it. You are asking me that where they are working at Parelinyatwa, they can't afford their kids to be treated there.
If they get sick.
Meaning they are being treated some way.
Maybe they have not fallen sick.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
Obviously, there are so many.
I've not been in hospital. I've not been in hospital for the past 15 years.
Okay. There are so many. There are so many doctors.
It makes very sense.
Okay, wait. Listen now. Listen. There are so many doctors at Parelinyatwa because it's one of the largest hospitals in this country. There are so many doctors, and we know. The human life or human.
No, but
no. Listen.
You must answer the simple question.
No.
Are you aware?
No.
Are you aware? That's the question. Are you aware that doctors?
Look.
Okay. Let us take another example.
No. I'm still.
Because you don't want to answer it.
I'm still on my point.
Can you answer the question?
No, you don't squeeze me to answer something.
But you came here to answer questions.
No, clarify.
You came here to answer questions, didn't you?
Are you saying...
You came here to answer questions.
Oh, no, wait.
You came here on this set to answer questions. So please answer them.
A question must make sense.
Are you aware that doctors working at Parelinyatwa General Hospital, with their salary, they cannot afford to send themselves or their children at the same hospital if they do get sick?
That's not true. I'm aware that statement is not true because civil servants, even in Zimbabwe, Parelinyatwa, most people, even ordinary people, are being treated at Parelinyatwa. Those who are not working. So why would a doctor not afford when people who are not working, even vendors in Harare, are being treated at Parelinyatwa?
How much is it to get admitted at Parelinyatwa General Hospital?
You can tell me.
No, I'm asking you. You say you know people by being
so
treated.
So can we then agree that Parelinyatwa is closed because no one can afford to be there? Who
said no one can afford?
So it's operational.
Why are you creating your own question?
It's operational.
I asked you about doctors.
I'm aware that your question is not true. I'm aware. I'm answering now. Because you can't provide where the kids of doctors are being provided. I wanted to give this point. Human development. A person is fragile when they are young and when they are old. They need a constant medical care. So when you talk about doctors' kids, they are in a fragile state. They need constant medical care. And if you can't provide where they are being treated, it means the health system is good. We don't want people to frequent hospitals. We want people to live a health lifestyle. Like you have, it's ages you have never been to a hospital. That's the health sector we want. Okay.
You actually believe what you're talking about?
100%. You are a witness. You don't frequent hospitals. You frequent media rooms, press conferences. You are healthy. We want Vision 2030's objective is for citizens to live a health lifestyle. Not to frequent hospitals, prophets and sangomas. No. So anyway, hospitals are flooded with people. Something is not good. When the prisons are flooded by people, something is not good. So when we talk about empty prisons, when we talk about empty hospitals, that's the purpose of Vision 2030.
The purpose of Vision 20 also says the hospitals should be also empty of medicine. Should not have paracetamol. Right. Should not have the drip. Should not have blood because people should not frequent it. This is your reasoning.
All right.
If your reasoning is also that people who work, professionals, should not be able to afford hospital because they must be healthy and must not go to hospital.
Do you agree that for you to spend many long period without going to hospitals, it means even you are not in need of that paracetamol? So it's not correct that people are not being treated, even operations are being done. You talk as if...
No, but where did you get this thing that people are not being treated?
Okay. You talk as if...
No, but where did you get it?
But when we talk about the painkiller that they are not there, then we are already dismissing that people are not even being operated.
No, but people can be told. People have been told
to
go and buy. And they've bought from private spaces and they've taken them there.
Okay, thank you.
I had a cousin whom we had to go and buy anesthetics from a pharmacy, right? Because it's not there at the hospital.
Okay,
so it doesn't mean that if it's not there, there is no alternative that it can be made to happen.
Thank you.
But a hospital must make sure that it has those things. And I am putting it to you that it's not there.
Thank you for saying that.
And you are telling me that your party, zanu-pf, and the government has made those things available.
Okay.
And all I'm telling you, it's not there.
I'm talking of a improved health system that people like you are not even going to hospital. Wait. Let me talk about the issue of buying you are talking about. US, as we speak right now, which is supposed to be the center of the epicenter of health systems, you need even health insurance to afford medication. If you do your research well, you will tell me that in America is one of the most expensive health system in the world, where citizens open health insurance premiums to afford treatment. So America right now is more expensive than this country. Because in Zimbabwe, people, they don't do medical insurance to afford treatment. There are many people without even medical aid who are getting treatment.
Where are you getting your statistics?
Okay.
Where are you getting your statistics?
I don't have medical aid.
Because you're zanu-pf or what?
No. No. When you go to hospital, they don't ask a zanu-pf card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you have medical aid?
If I'm sick, I go to hospital, I get treatment. I'm telling you that in the US, you need medical insurance. And I know you are going to ignore that. But
in Zimbabwe, you need medical insurance. That's why there's CIMAS, that's why there's FISMAS.
All right.
All civil servants in this country have medical aid cover. Okay. All of them.
Me and you can agree that
I have medical aid.
Ordinary people are majority more than civil
because
servants.
They can't afford.
Okay. But
you are talking about they can't afford medical
aid.
They
afford because you are telling me about your relative who want you to buy things in the pharmacy.
Because, they went to buy because they didn't have medical aid.
So they afford. They afford to buy the medication.
No.
So they bought what?
I had to buy for
them.
Was
it prophetic water?
I had to buy for them.
Then you afford. The thing.
So if I was not there,
you are there. You are there.
I mean, are you actually listening to what you're saying, Tinashe?
Yes.
And you actually believe in this drama that you're doing?
No. Wait. It's not drama. Let me tell you this. It's reality. Because your relative was sick and you bought them treatment. Probably they are well now. In a family,
what happens to those who don't have?
Like who?
Like you.
Like who?
Like.
Do you think I'm sick?
You do?
I'm like you. I'm long.
You look sick.
You are now proving that you are aspiring to be a prophet. But the point is, me and you, we don't know we don't visit hospitals. We are living a health lifestyle. We are product of Vision 2030 and beneficiaries of that. Yes.
Have you heard of people who have died in their homes?
Of course. Death is a frequent visitor everywhere.
Because they could not afford to go to hospital.
Who are we talking about here?
I'm asking you that a simple question.
I avoid speculation.
I didn't say speculate. I asked you a simple, straight question.
To hear in the streets.
Have you heard of people who have died in their homes because they couldn't afford to?
In the streets or where?
I don't know. Wherever you've heard. Have you? Yes or no?
Funerals are happening every time. People, they die. People, they are born every day. That is
okay. I see you've made it a habit not to answer questions. It's fine. Maybe we can move forward.
Even my own relatives, obviously. People, they die.
In Slovenia, just in the past 3 months, people have died on their way to hospital in squash carts because there are no ambulances and there was no access to hospital close by. I'm just asking you simple things, and you choose to dilly-dally in front of questions.
All right.
So I'm just simply asking
I've never
you are speaking of an economic revolution,
Yes.
an improvement. I'm just pointing you things that are just basic and mundane.
Okay.
And you choose to, I don't know.
Okay, look, let me answer that. I know you want to comment how I answer questions because there's a certain expectation of me falling into the I need to be in love with the speculative talk. But the point is, I've never denied that people die because people die all over the world.
No, that's not the issue.
Okay, no. The issue is now when we are saying economic revolution, we are not saying what is a revolution. A revolution is a process. Even when we fought to liberate this country, it was not a 1 hour thing and then the country is liberated. It took years. So, even countries, developed countries, first world countries, they are still building, they are still improving, they are still debating policy.
This country has $5 million United States dollars to pour into by-elections caused by Chabangu and the intervention of ZANU-PF through the Speaker of Parliament. When hospitals don't have medication, don't you think that money could have been put in better use?
You are saying we have $45 million.
United States of America dollars.
To do what? To buy Chabangu. I guess you have got a proof of that transaction. Do we have?
Did you listen to what I said?
Repeat.
Did you listen?
Repeat.
I said $5 million United States dollars to fund by-elections.
Okay. All right. And then you don't understand statecraft. I would school you for free. Okay. You are mentioning 2 ministries of government or government departments. 2. One, which is the Justice, Minister of Justice. Second, you are mentioning the Minister of Health. When we do elections, it's a legal obligation according to our constitution. And that is bigger than even ED. So that is a constitutional obligation. That's number one. When we talk about hospitals, that's the Minister of Education. Each ministry is allocated budget. And then it's not correct then to say the Minister of Justice, surrender your budget to the Minister of Health. The Minister of Education, surrender your budget to, then we are going to end up running the country on one Minister of Health. So, statecraft, free lesson.
What does statecraft say in terms of budget allocations?
Good. You don't put a constitutional amendment to budget allocations. Budget are run by the Ministry of Finance.
Are you aware that Zimbabwe is a signatory in terms of budget allocations, where a certain percentage on the budget is supposed to be put health, certain percentage on budget is supposed to put education? Are you aware of that?
Thank you. Let me tell you this.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And do you know that Zimbabwe has been underperforming in terms of those areas, allocating education and health way below what it signed and committed itself to doing?
Thank you.
But it has been overperforming and overfunding the president's office. Are you aware of that?
Okay. The president's office budget is how much?
It has been overfunded by 130% in the last budget year.
Over 130%?
Yes.
All right. Although I'm not sure of that, but let me give my...
I'm now schooling you on statecraft.
Okay.
And having information.
All right. Okay. Let me answer on that. We are signatory to a lot of international organizations or whatever it is, because we don't exist in isolation. But before you meet the obligation of you and your neighbor, you meet the fatherhood obligation. You satisfy your family first before the neighbor agreement. So as a sovereign state, as a republic, we observe our challenges, our victory, our weaknesses first before international fora. So you need to understand that. Our leaders are there to make Zimbabweans happy first before international obligation.
Are they happy?
What?
The Zimbabweans.
I am saying our leaders put laws or budget allocation according to the challenges of this country, not according to international challenges.
It is your leaders. Our leaders.
Not my leader. My leader are your leader.
It is your leaders. Our leaders.
Yes.
Who went there and committed themselves to be able to meet those regional, not international, regional. These are SADC guidelines on budget allocation, on health.
Okay. Are you saying this country is run by SADC clauses or is run by our leaders from this country?
When you sign a regional law and then you domesticate it, it becomes a local law. We domesticated those laws. And we are failing to live on our own domesticated laws.
Okay.
Maybe I should school you on that as well.
No, I will school you that there's no country in SADC which is under sanctions for almost over 2 decades like us. So when sanctions are on us, our economy is not expected to perform above average. It will be bleeding. So you can't say when 2 people are in a race, the other one has got 1 leg, the other one has got 2 legs.
What is very impressive is that sanctions affect everything else except perks for ministers, their cars, the president's office, the travels, the hiring of expensive planes. They are not affected by sanctions.
Okay. That's your opinion.
Do you want me to give you evidence?
No. Let me assume the president's office has been affected. There's no money. Technically, that means our president is rendered incapable of running the country. You can't make the president's office incapacitated. Then there's no leadership in the country.
When the hospital is incapacitated, there's leadership.
Incapacitated how? Because a musician died. What do you mean?
Because there's no paracetamol.
But
because there's no anesthetic.
We've been there. I told you that whether you buy the medication from the hospital pharmacy or private pharmacy, that's a health system. I think your understanding of the health system is so narrowed to the government hospitals, state hospitals. Health system is made by 2 parts: government and private sector. So if you buy medication from a private pharmacy,
so you are agreeing that the public health sector is on its knees, but the private is working.
I'm agreeing that health system is made up of state and private sector. So it's 2-legged.
And I put it to you that the public health system is on its knees.
It's rising. How many clinics have been built? Are you aware that the Zimbabwean government entered into an agreement of almost $200 million US with the NHS, whatever, the National Health System of UK, to build more than 50 clinics and hospitals at the standard of UK. One is the one in Southly Park. One was commissioned in where Comrade Mugabe was Country Park. And so many others are being built at the level of UK. I know you will be blind to that.
The UK, which has put sanctions against Zimbabwe, which is bleeding this country, is that the same UK you're talking about?
The sanctions...
Is that the same UK you're talking about?
Yes, if we pay the money, they will build. If we pay the money, obviously, these are the people who enslaved the Zimbabweans and African in general for money. So they respond to money. They don't respond to humanity.
You have been doing marches, zanu-pf, every year, marching against sanctions. How is that help? How is that worked?
Okay. When we do marches against the sanctions, it's not only limited to marches. It's also advocacy. Why are we doing that? We are highlighting the injustice throughout history, the Western demagogues have been manipulating media to foster pro-Western narratives. But now, because of social media, because of communication, now information dissemination is now almost equal. So we need to set narratives which are correct and diffuse their propaganda. So because the opposition and in general, it's like there's no leadership in Zimbabwe, we need leadership change, we need this and that. When the sanctions, if you read Zidera, if you read Zidera, you see one key, why Zidera was formulated: for democratic and peaceful transfer of power. That is the key clause of Zidera. Meaning sanctions, according to the Western world, would be removed after there's peaceful transfer of power from zanu-pf to opposition.
You said peaceful democratic transfer of power. That's what you said.
That's how they coined it.
So what is wrong with the peaceful democratic transfer of power?
It's wrong because you don't put sanctions for then a transfer of power from the ruling party to your puppets. When you do that, you are declaring war. And why would anyone sit down? If I'm to end a boxing match and my other hand is tied on my back, do you think I'll be that foolish?
So let me get you straight. Let me get you correct. So this government has taken 200 million United States dollars.
Yeah.
And went into a deal with a country that declared war with Zimbabwe.
Okay. I get my point. The sanctions,
I'm trying to get it.
The sanctions are put for the economy to bleed and then the people to scream, we don't have leadership, zanu-pf must go. It's a political strategy to rig elections.
Then you take money from the taxpayers, 200 million, you enter into a deal, you give it to the same people you accuse of what you are accusing them of.
The logic is when your enemy is remember, political enemy, when they declared war with us, we didn't declare war with them. Now, because we say an enemy to none, a friend to all, that's our foreign policy in zanu-pf and in government.
So even those who declare war to you,
we are friends to them.
You still give them our money.
No. It was not giving. It was seeing what they are good at. They are good. They are good at hospital infrastructure, modern and equipment.
And what are we good at?
When we learn from other countries, in that learning process we do what is called skills transfer. We don't only learn, but if you go to hospitals right now, companies which are building are our companies. They come with the expertise of designing and other things, but our people are involved in the real work, so that we don't go again there with another 200 million. The next thing, that's why Chirundu Bedbridge Highway is being built by local companies, but we were always outsourcing. In the outsourcing process, we did skills transfer. That's why we have got a ministry, a whole ministry dedicated to skills training and auditing, being ministered by Honorable Professor Paul Mavima.
So what are we good at?
We are good at everything we are good at, and we are good at everything we are not good at because we are doing a skill transfer. We know what we are humble enough to know that we don't know this. We learn from China. This we can learn from Russia. This we can learn from UK. We need to be humble. When you are humble enough to learn from your neighbor or whoever, that's called wisdom.
Where did we learn corruption from?
Corruption is not a skill. So you don't learn corruption. I'm helping you. Even after the interview, you can call me. I will lecture you on that. You don't learn criminal behavior. According to our constitution, corruption is a crime. So we can't have institutions like colleges.
The late President Robert Gabriel Mugabe said we lost over 15 billion United States dollars from corruption around minerals. And the reports from government itself has admitted that we lose over 100 million every year from smuggling and corruption of minerals in this country.
Okay, let me answer that. I'll start with the 15 billion. For the first time, Zimbabweans must get the clarity of that 15 billion the president was saying. He said it in summary, because a presidential speech must not last for days. It must last for hours or minutes. I'm clarifying that and putting it on record now. The 15 billion, the late comrade Robert Mugabe, may so rest in peace, was meant. It was the shards or diamond there. What happened is that the whites, especially Canadians, they discovered that we had diamonds there well before everyone knew. They were now like they are exploring, they are taking the ore to Canada and test, because they are suspecting there might be diamonds. In doing so, that was called the surface mining, because the diamonds at first they were on the surface. There was no, I mean, you didn't want to rig down there. It was going as samples of soil to research if there can be diamonds, because they were suspecting. In doing so, they were exporting diamonds. Zero duty, zero payment. So this estimation of 15 billion was not diamonds smuggled out. It was diamond smuggled out as research soil to Canada.
And how do you then put the value at 15 billion? When you
obviously,
when you don't even know.
That value is an estimate. It's an estimate.
An estimate from where? From thin air. President Robert Mugabe was clear about what he was talking about. He was clear on time.
Yes, he was clear.
And you are denying it as well as his spokesperson.
I'm agreeing to it. I'm agreeing to that 15 billion.
You are clarifying it as the person who wrote the report.
Okay, wait. No. Remember, as presidential speech is in summary. It's in summary.
You wrote it. You're the one who put it in summary.
No.
So how do you know what you're talking about?
Our government, me and you, he has got a transparency policy. Right now, you want to go to Minister of Mines, wherever government ministries, you want that information or whatever. Any information you are given. What I'm saying is,
you're sure of what you're talking about?
Yes.
I'm a journalist for years. I've tried to get information just from Zupco. You can't get it.
Information
from Zupco.
But we are not talking about the Minister of Mines.
No, but you said our government.
No, I'm sorry with the Zupco.
Yeah,
but the Minister of Mines.
No, you said our government.
I don't know the information you wanted.
You said our government.
I'm telling you that.
I am simply challenging you on the issue of what you said.
When I get information from the same government, you are denying it. So, now, meaning, I don't know what information you look from the government, because when I'm giving you, you deny it. But still you want to convince me you are looking.
You're not government, so I'm asking you to.
I'm government.
You are. What position do you hold?
A good question. You don't understand statecraft. Every citizen of this country is a shareholder of the government. You build the government by contributing, whether ideas or participating. When you are even voting, it's a government process. When you even pick a piece of dirt in the street, you are playing a part in the government. Every Zimbabwean is a part of the government. Another lesson is statecraft. I'm the government.
You believe that?
Yes. When you play civil obligations, that's governmental. If you talk about someone who died and you are raising awareness, you are already provoking policymakers to jump into action.
Yeah.
You are challenging them.
That is what is called civil society.
Yes.
Or a non-governmental organization.
No. Don't put it to organization. Even individuals, when you post, I'll give an example.
This is government.
Yes.
Why is he arrested when he talks? When he
Okay,
tells
no,
government?
no. Let me start with
that there's corruption.
Let me start with the government part.
Why is
No.
Why does government arrest government?
Let me say Opo Oshimono is government first. Then I will go to the arrest.
But why do they arrest government?
No, there are two things. Let me talk about him being a government.
We are running out of time.
Okay.
But
Opo Oshimono talked a lot about cancer machines. That was a good movement, and the government responded by buying. That is good. Secondly, when he was arrested.
So you said Opol is government. He spoke about cancer machines.
Yes.
And Opol responded by buying.
I'm saying the government responded.
But you said Opol is government.
I'm saying he's government because what he was saying, people are listening. People in government are human beings. They come from our villages. They come from our ghetto. They are human beings. Let's not think people in government who work in the government, they are from another part of Zimbabwe.
No, I never said that. I'm just simply saying government has its structures. You are not part of government.
The same people who are in government.
You can't authoritatively speak on behalf of government.
No. I think when as a Zimbabwean,
you are a Zimbabwean. You are not government.
When I speak about my country, I'm speaking about what? Is my country not including the government? When I'm in South Africa, they ask me about Zimbabwe. How is Zimbabwe? How is what? I say, please, this is the number of Comrade Nikki Mangwana or the Minister of Information. Do you do that? When you write your paper, do you ask government to write? You write as a private citizen. Information even about the government. No one writes comment the government more than you. But you are not having a position in government.
I am not government.
What is government?
It's you.
Define the government.
It's you. I want to thank you, Tinashe, for coming through. But anyway, I just want to give you an opportunity to talk to the people of Zimbabwe as we close, Tinashe. Just how you believe that we should move this country of Zimbabwe together, where lies don't have the monopoly of driving the agenda of this nation. The people of Zimbabwe can begin to enjoy the benefits of being citizens of this country. And that it's safe for Zimbabweans to fall ill in their own country and get treatment in their own country. It's safe for a child in grade 1 to study hard because they know that if they are educated, they're going to have a job, and that job is going to put food on their table. How do we change our country from being a country of criminals, of corrupt individuals, to a better nation for all? And how do we fight for justice for people like Job Sikala, Jacob Ngarivume, and those who have been abducted, so that they can begin to see fairness in the justice delivery system? How do we as a people congregate around the same ideas as a nation and build it going forward? Over to you.
Yeah, first, what we need is peace, unity, and development. We will have development. So we need to stop the culture of finger pointing, blame shifting. No one is perfect in Zimbabwe, from the leadership to the voters to civil society. No one is perfect. If I can mention, most people, they do everything for personal interest, not even for organizational or national interest. We need to put national interest first and create a working Zimbabwe for us, for our kids, for our grandchildren. We should be tired of election mode. We should be tired of seeing an enemy in your fellow. If someone doesn't support zanu-pf, is not my enemy. If someone doesn't go to my church, is not a Satanist. We need to embrace each other, and we need to differentiate between an opinion and a fact, and hatred. We need the politics of development, where if a certain leader wins, even in primary elections, and I lose, I should congratulate him and not define the election as rigged because I lost. Because I don't know anyone in the world who have won elections and said the process was wrong and say, let's restart. Nothing like that. Rigging is a word of the loser, a sole loser. If elections are being rigged, why those who think they are being rigged are not also rigging? So if the state is being captured, why those who think it's being captured and disadvantage them, why are they not capturing it? So the fact that those who always say the state is captured and they are not capturing it, it means it's not easy to capture a state. It's not, you can't capture it. We need the politics of love, politics of capacity, and one Zimbabwe for everyone, one leader. President Mnangagwa is a leader for everyone. And we need to know that the leaders are coming from God.
Thank you very much, Tinashe, for coming through and for having this conversation with me. Now, Zimbabwe is for everyone. Zimbabwe is for the people, and we need, as a nation, to find each other and to build a nation of tolerance and a nation of understanding for each other. It is important for all citizens to play their role in nation building. This is the situation right now with me, your host as usual, Dara B. And here on this, the situation right now, we allow Zimbabweans to talk to each other and not through each other. We allow Zimbabweans to bring their views so that they can be heard and contribute towards nation building. I was with my brother Tinashe this afternoon talking about how this country is transforming or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.